Hey there. So if you're running ads, paid ads for new patients, you've got to know your numbers. You've got to know how much can you afford for a new patient. You've got to know how to figure it out and have it reasonably accurate. Otherwise, you may overspend for new patients. You might even be underspending for new patients. If you're not spending enough, you could spend more and get more new patients, right? So in this video, I'm going to cover with you a little excerpt from my book. I wrote a book called 16 Rules for Facebook Marketing Success for Chiropractors. It's a little executive summary overview over all the things you need to know as a practice owner to run successful paid ads for new patients. And I'm taking this out of that book. So it comes down to this. The only real measurement that matters in any marketing campaign is its return on investment in terms of the dollar amount of cases versus what was closed for care. So dollars out should always result in many, many more dollars paid back, right? Period. That is a rule of the universe. You've got to make money or you can't afford to keep advertising. If you can't afford to keep advertising, you'll eventually fade into obscurity. And when that happens, then you're just referral based and hopefully you can survive on that. So don't do that. Don't do that. All you have to do is basically know your numbers and then manage with those numbers, okay? Because the rule of thumb is this. If you're making money on a campaign, you feed it more, right? I mean, that's what you do. If you feed it more budget, right? You give it more time, attention, energy, and especially money, and you scale it up to the point where as far as you can go, right? If a campaign is losing money, of course you starve it, you drop it, right? So making those decisions. So, and by the way, if you've got a good marketing partner, an agency or a marketing company that's trying to help you out, they should be falling all over themselves to prove to you that their marketing is working. They should be providing you formulas and data and information and reports and things to prove that their marketing is working, because when it's working, they can't wait to prove it, which conversely means if they're not falling over themselves to prove that it works, or if they're kind of standoffish about it or telling you it's about branding or something, then maybe perhaps the marketing is not as effective or they're not as confident in how effective it is. They may not even know how to measure it properly because they don't know the numbers that you're getting and all that stuff. So it should be something you're in lockstep with your marketing company. For example, our clients, we actually have a rule in my office. Our campaign managers must ask the clients they deal with once every 2 or 3 weeks, are you making money with our program? That's just a question. If the practice owner says yes, well, that's great. If he says, I don't know, or no, that sets off a red alarm for us. We want to make sure that they know if they're making money or not. If they're not making money, that's a problem for everybody. We take that seriously because, most of the time it's working, quite honestly, so it's not really a problem. We don't mind asking so much. Okay, so all this gets down to how much do you spend, all right? So how do you figure out how much a new patient should be, how much you should be paying for a new patient, right? Okay, there's one way is to get with your accountant and figure out how much revenue came from new patients last year and what your cost of goods delivery was and a whole bunch of other stuff like that. And you can go the long route. I'm sure your accountant can have a lot of good time figuring that out with you, but I've got a couple of shortcuts because I'm all about getting results, right? So here's how you go. If you want to do this, the shortcut method, and this doesn't take every factor into account, obviously, but it's just kind of a nice little rule of thumb, right? Is you take your gross income from last year. Just what was your net? What was the gross? Sorry, what was your gross, not net? Right? And divide that by the number of new patients you had. Just go through the schedule book and say how many you have, right? Divide, and you've got a number right there. So say you did whatever, I'm not going to make the numbers up because I'll screw the math up in the video, but you get the idea. And then you figure, okay, that's how much a new patient was worth. What percentage of that are you willing to spend to get that new patient, right? Are you willing to spend $10, $50, $1,000, $2,000? Well, I mean, whatever. It's probably not $2,000. We get the idea. And I have another way that you can kind of work that out. Now that you're aware what that number is, let's say an average new patient is worth X dollars to you. So now we play a little role-playing game, and we'll find out how much you should pay for your marketing. Ready to play? Okay, you play along at home. Here we go. So I'm going to send you, I have an exact average new patient for you. An average new patient, no higher, no low. He's an average new patient for you. He will pay, he buys services, an average amount. And I'm going to send them to you, but I want a bounty for that, which would be illegal if we're doing this in real life, but we're playing a game, okay? So I would like $10 for that. You go, sure, I'll give you the $10, send me the patient, right? No problem, because you know what you're probably going to make from the guy, right? You can make X dollars on your average new patient. All right, say, okay, no, how about would you pay $100 for that guy? You go, yeah, probably. Okay, I say, would you pay $200 for that guy? I'm getting less happy about it, but yes, I would pay $200 for that guy. All right, would you pay $500 for that guy? Oh, yeah, nah, it's not really worth it to me at $500. Okay, how about 400? Maybe, okay, fine, $400. Okay, good. So what we just determined there by feel is that a new patient, you're willing to pay about $400 in marketing for that guy to get your average new patient. There you go. Now, Of course, like I said, there's a lot of factors that are not taken into that in that method there, but that's a rule of thumb. So then you look at your marketing, you say, okay, well, I spent $10,000 in marketing, $2,000 in marketing, $5,000 in marketing, whatever it is you spent in marketing last month. How many new patients did you get from that? Divide, and now you know if you're paying too much or too little, right? Boom, super easy. $400 a new patient, $200 a new patient, whatever it is. Now, I'm going to give you a little extra advice. I'm always begging guys to raise their prices, because the more you charge, the more you can afford to pay to get more new patients in. Now, some guys say, oh, no, I don't want to charge too much more because then I can't help enough people. Let's look at it this way. If you charge enough, you can afford to advertise, in which case you can help a lot more people, right? You just got to learn how to charge enough, which is sometimes kind of a sales skill. Let's call it a care acceptance skill. But, you know, it's a little bit of getting people who to want it bad enough to internalize the need for it, that they actually will pay for the service that will help them, and they'll pay a little more. If they pay a little more, then you can afford to advertise to a bunch of new people and help lots more people. When you try to cut your prices, trying to help more people by cutting prices, you actually end up reaching fewer and fewer people because you can't afford to advertise for them, or you'll go out of business, right? So I recommend you go the higher route and raise your prices a little bit, so that allows you to do more advertising, so you can reach more people, and so you know, and so on and so on. I mean, don't be crazy, don't be greedy. I don't think anybody who's watching this video is going to be greedy and jack their prices up too high, because, you know, there's a limit to that sort of program. All right. Now, as I mentioned, what I just told you came from my my book, 16 Rules for Facebook Marketing Success for Chiropractors, and basically I cover a whole bunch of other topics in that book. I have a way for you to get a copy of that book for free right now. We've got an electronic copy. It's about 20 pages long, this book, and it's an executive summary kind of. It gives you an overview of the entire picture of what it takes to run a successful Facebook marketing company, Facebook marketing campaign for your business, right, for your company. So the idea is that you can take this and it sort of gives you the parameters. It's not every bitty nitty-bitty detail, but it's all the big stuff you have to know, just like what I just told you just now. So hopefully you find that useful, and I will see you in the next chapter. Bye.